All right. Back, DFW Blueprint, and Shelby, we're back again, and we're talking about some good conversation pieces here. We talk about a little bit of a market update, some seller tips, some tricks, and what really matters with the value of your home. And also, maybe we'll get some ridiculous stories in here at some point if we have some time. But as you know, like the seller market, there are some pockets in DFW that are hot seller markets.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there have been homes that have sold. I've put a home in the market on a Wednesday, and by Sunday it was sold, right? But then we've got some homes that are on the market for 180 plus days, and there's probably reasons why. But the market doesn't care what you think your house is worth. It really has no feelings whatsoever. It's kind of like chat. They don't care. It'll just give it back to you logically, right? And it only responds to how you really position it. So talk to me about like how important pricing is for you. Like when you talk to your sellers or potential sellers, what's your process? What do you gotta get into?
Yeah, I mean, from the start, I always go into a listing presentation with my clients, and I want to tell them, or potential clients, I always want to tell them I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, because we could want your house to sell for $1 million, but if it's worth 400,000, that's a great want, but it's not gonna.
I want to win the lottery too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I always want to tell them what they need to hear, and that's why, I'm really firm on if this is what it needs to be priced at, this is what you should price it at. And there's been times where, I didn't take a listing because it was just so unreasonable on, what they were wanting to list it at. And I don't want their home to sit on the market, then be mad at me. I'm stressed out trying to figure out how to sell an overpriced home.
Yeah.
And so it's a win, or it's a lose-lose for everyone. So.
Yeah, if you overprice, it is lose-lose. I mean, win-win would be I price it correctly and you get your house sold and you move on to the next chapter using me, whether it's, utilizing that for a different vehicle or investment vehicle, buying another home. But the first 2 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks is really where you're going to see what the market is telling you about your home. I mean, it needs to be presentable. It can't be dirty. I've had some listings where I walk away and I explain to them the listing, please keep it presentable, limit the clutter, 2-hour notice on the showings, of course. And it's like, some of the feedback I get is like there was still food in the sink. And unfortunately, buyers now, or fortunately, it's like, you got to understand, like, buyers are pretty particular. And so when they walk in and they feel like the house is dirty or not quite, quote unquote, move-in ready, they're moving on. And so when I advise sellers, it's the same situation. Like, small is like a bathroom, like a wall that's pink or yellow, or, your daughter or your son's room that's kind of a weird blue or bright pink. We like pink here.
Love pink.
Love pink.
Love pink.
But
clearly.
Obviously, but pink walls inside of a home might not be well for the general buyer, and they don't want to paint it. And they can't picture it. So generally, you want to have something that is ready for a buyer to basically say, okay, I can live here for 5 to 7 years, whether that's quick paint job. But there are some things that don't really matter for upgrades. Like a lot of sellers, like, should I do this? And you're like, no, that doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, I try not to ever say like this doesn't add value or this doesn't matter or something like that. But I think a really common one that people think is going to add so much value to their home is a pool. Is I'm going to put this new pool in and it's going to be amazing and it's going to add all this value, and it probably adds 25 cents to the dollar.
Yeah, that's a great comparison.
Honestly.
I was going to say, if you put an $80,000 pool in, you're not getting $80,000 back.
Yeah.
I mean, the time and family memories that you probably had, that's nice enough. But when you go to sell,
so it better be worth the memories, because it's not going to add a lot of value to the home. And I mean, of course, it adds some. Yeah. But I think a lot of times too, sellers think that every renovation they did or every upgrade they did, they want to make back 100% of that, and that's just not. It's not the case.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a no HOA listing, a pool. That just the house is really what is causing the issue. It's just not upgraded, right? And pricing it, at the time, I tried to recommend a certain price and they wanted to go a little bit higher. I said, well, what happens is you're not leaving room for negotiation if you go higher. Like there is not that mindset.
Mhm.
And I'm their third agent. And so this is try number 3 for them, right? Shouldn't chase the market. I think lately what I've been doing is 2 months ahead. Is if I go to a listing agreement like today as April 9th, I'm not going to give you April 9th's price. I'm going
Mhm.
to give you June and
Yeah.
like what the market is in June, because homes are selling 30, 60 days on the market when they're priced correctly. And even when they're priced correctly, like let's say we're not in the COVID years anymore. I think finally people are understanding that
Mhm.
there are some homes that could sell in 5, 7 days,
Yeah.
if it's priced correctly.
And I do think from what I've seen, I mean, it has been picking up a little bit this year.
Yeah.
But I
Last year
mean,
was a weird year.
last year it was pretty slow,
Yeah.
and the market was just shifting. I really think it was readjusting. So I think, now consumer confidence is kind of getting back to where
Yeah.
people feel more confident in wanting to purchase homes. So I have seen the market kind of pick up a bit.
Same.
But what I'm seeing though is homes that are priced correctly and
Yeah.
competitively, those are the ones that are selling. The
Yep.
ones that are overpricing their home and saying, well, we want to leave room for negotiation. Well, why leave room for negotiation when you can price it right?
Mhm.
And then there's no negotiating. You
There is no
say,
negotiation.
we have it priced right.
I listed it to sell it.
Yeah.
And then that could also generate. The last 3 weeks, I've had 4 multiple offer situations, 2 on the buyer, 2 on the seller side. 2 of them we won out on, but one of them, the advice was, hey, I gave him a certain number to advise on. He wanted to go $10,000 less. I said, okay, well, okay, I'll submit it. We didn't get that one, but
Mhm.
that's what drives the price up. It's multiple offer situations,
Mhm.
but you're getting multiple offers because multiple people like it, like
Mhm.
the price, they like the house. And you could tell me all day long location or the gas or, whatever's happening outside of America. It's like, no, we still sold and bought homes during whatever crisis we're in.
Mhm.
So that's not an excuse. Like that's kind of what their built-in excuse is. Like, um, what was it? The interest rate dropped below 6 for the first time in a very, very long time. But then all of a sudden, like a couple weeks ago, it jumped right back up. And so
Mhm.
even with that, I'm still seeing increased activity as well. I mean,
Yeah.
working with active buyers that want to take advantage of some of the
Mhm.
stuff, and some of the homes that are overpriced, we're not seeing them. We're seeing the
Mhm.
homes that are, and the key word here is price.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know,
And
you
the
got
market truly does tell you, especially when you put it on the market, if you're not getting showings at all or any offers the first 2 weeks that it's, or I wouldn't say offers, but if you're not getting showings in 2 weeks
hmm
that it's been on the market, that is the market telling you it is overpriced.
and it's kind of like data. Having that agent, like, I mean, yeah, we can say the market tells you, but how does the agent interpret that information and regurgitate that to the consumer that doesn't do this every single day?
Mm-hmm.
You have to know the data. You have to know how to interpret. Does this person have a pool and does this person not have a pool? Well, that's not a comparable.
Mm-hmm.
Is it in the same neighborhood? Is it the same bedrooms? Is it similar square footage? Could be a completely different model,
Mm-hmm.
of a build. Are you competing with new builds too? Like, there's that. If
Yeah.
you got new build communities down the street, I can't really use the new build comps.
Yeah.
And you got to know that stuff.
Mm-hmm. And the new
And
builds have the interest rates that
399,
really good
299.
interest rates than
Yeah.
the incentives that they offer.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, honestly, I love working with new construction
Yeah.
too. It's just, it is great working with them, especially some of the builders that I've worked with. They try to work with you too, which is nice. I mean, I had one where wasn't great,
Mm-hmm.
but they do try and work with you because they want to get the home sold.
Of course they do. I mean, it's not just selling the home. It's like we want to get them to their next home, our clients, right?
Mhm.
And so, yeah, of course we want to get the home sold for them, for the clients. And I think right now the market, like we talked about, sellers market, buyers market. I don't look at it like that. I look at whatever the market is. It's how do we adjust?
Mhm.
Whether you're a buyer or you're a seller, you're an investor. Bottom line is like it's the data that I can interpret and regurgitate to you and say this is a good investment for you, whether you're buying or selling. But the biggest piece for sellers is pricing, condition, And then how hard is your agent really going to work? If they're just throwing it up on the MLS and they're just agreeing with you, it's kind of like a mechanic agreeing with you. Like you come in and say, yeah, I think I have something wrong with my tire. He's like, yep, you sure do. I go ahead and replace your tire. When in all reality, it could be like something completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite the mechanic I want to deal with. I want
Yeah.
him to tell me what is wrong with my car.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to be an agent that's not advising and, giving guidance to my clients because
Mhm.
that's what I'm here for. That's
Yeah.
why they're hiring me is
Right.
they don't do this every day. I do.
Right.
So they're wanting me to help them and give them advice and guidance on the next steps to take. And, I try and do that as much as I can. And that's why, like I said, some listings I walked away from because I was like, I can't help you here.
Oh yeah, and that's what I mean. Even again, getting back to the comparison, lawyers. No, I want to pay this. I want to pay this. I want to. Okay, well, the lawyer down the street can help you. Like
Mhm.
it's a business, and I think we joke and things like that, but it is a business, and we spend time and energy into helping folks that kind of want to be helped, right? Whether it's
Yeah.
buying or selling. If you're here to like, I just kind of want to look. I kind of want to get curious. I'm not looking to buy the next. I actually just bought a house last week, but I want to look at my neighbor's house. I mean, that's fine, and we can have good conversation. But
Mhm.
buying and selling homes is part of the business.
Mhm. And I think it's important for sellers to really, when you're meeting with, especially when they're listing your home, meeting that realtor. I think you need to really talk to them about what they're offering you.
hmm
Are they the agent that's going to be, emailing you weekly, letting you know how the market is? Any reviews that come in or feedback that comes in, are they communicating that to you? I mean, open houses are great
hmm
and everything, but
Yeah.
they're open houses. I
Well, it's a
mean,
chance.
ours.
It's a chance to gain buyers, and it's also a chance
Mhm.
to see what the market is saying. I mean,
Yeah.
I had an open house in the colony, and we had 8 families come through, and like it was a 2-hour open house. I mean, it was
Mhm.
just I had family here, and I'm like, wait, I'm not a host. I don't
That is
like
so
hosting.
hard to keep up with too, because I had an open house like
Yeah,
that too, to where there was just 9 families
yeah,
that
yeah,
came in, and I talk a lot,
yeah.
but I was trying to go and talk to each
Like you're a cocktail
person.
host. It's like,
Yeah,
hey, everything, you good? You good? Need something to
yeah,
drink? Some water?
yeah,
It's just,
and I had 3 people come up to me and ask me a question, like different questions all at once, and I was like, "Okay, let me get to you,"
yeah,
and I
yeah,
just went down the line and
right. Well, no, that's what. Yeah, open houses are good because it can give you a good idea of like,
Mhm,
did it generate enough interest? And
mhm,
but also that conversation. I mean, you don't test the market. The market tests your price. And
mhm,
if you have good activity and you're selling eyeballs, you're getting good internet activity, and you're getting updates from your agent, these are it's kind of like you let them know what you did for the week for their property. Whether you have 20 or 30 listings, that's where I think behind the scenes, a lot of folks think it's more than. I know it's more than just opening doors. I'm looking at every single listing that I have and seeing where can I improve on a weekly basis, emailing my clients, updated market information because it changes. I
oh
mean,
yeah,
I had a price adjustment the other day because a home sold right at our price, and it was completely updated home, a newer build. And I'm not saying it hurts, but that situation could have been totally different. They would probably just undercut the market.
mhm,
And I had that happen in Fate last year. They were doing the reverse. They moved to California, and they wanted to sell their home as quickly as possible. And I said, well, here's what it's worth. Let's just list it 30 grand under.
mhm,
And it was insane. It was 4 or 5 offers last year,
yeah,
and we just essentially had to pick the highest one,
yeah.
and the one that was closing the quickest, right? And so you can do that, but because that one sold, now the market's kind of shifted a little bit. We have to do a price adjustment because of this, not
Mhm.
because the home's in bad condition. It's just
Yeah,
you have to react.
yeah, and that's why it's important to have a realtor that's on top of it weekly and keeping you updated on what the market is, keeping you updated on what's happening with your house,
hmm
and just staying in contact with you.
Yeah.
And if you if you call your realtor, they should pick
They
up.
should pick up. We touched on this. Yeah, pick up your phones, please, please,
Yes,
or text,
at
or
least
email.
text,
I mean,
email.
there's stuff out there, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's really. You're right. You touched on it earlier. The consumer should be asking. I mean, any
Mhm.
agent can offer you and say what they want to say. Check out their reviews, just like any restaurant. What kind of positive reviews do they have? Do they care? I mean, are you feeling like, hey, picked up a listing late last year, and she said, I'm letting go of the other agent because her comments were, I don't know if this is going to sell. And if you don't believe in your product that you're going to sell, how can they depend on you to sell it?
Mhm.
Now, could it have been misinterpreted? That could be an incomplete sentence. Like,
Mhm.
I don't need to sell at this price.
Yeah.
Could be that. But either way, I let her know my price, and I believed in that price. And, you know,
Yeah.
you have to make sure you believe in your product that you're selling.
Yeah. Well, and you have to communicate and be confident too,
hmm
because they're trusting you with this big investment of theirs
hmm
to make this happen. And if you don't know how to communicate and talk professionally, instead of I don't know how to sell your home,
Right.
think of ways and come to them with ideas of, okay, maybe let's try this, or let's think of a strategy that we can do to get your home sold.
There's a certain show that's out there. I'm sure you remember. He did a flash sale. I love that. Did a flash sale for like a whole week.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
I love it.
We have talked about that show, and it's a good one.
Yeah. Real estate's not like the show.
No.
No, but the goal is not to just list it. It's to sell it. I always tell people, I want to list your house to sell. I don't want to waste your time or my time.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get you to the end goal, and I want to get your home sold and move on and get you to that next chapter. And then the last thing I'll say is it doesn't end at the closing table for me because there's something else. There's a next step. You're selling your home, and then what? You're living on the streets?
Mm-hmm.
Let's get you into something else, a buy, right, situation. Or, I mean, if you're moving out of state, do I need to refer you to somebody that I know out in California
Mm-hmm.
or, wherever?
Yeah.
And I can help you with that.
And I think it's also important too for whatever realtor you go with. Are they doing professional photos, or are they taking photos off their phone? Are they
Yes.
uploading 3 pictures for everyone to see, or 30 to
Right.
get a better idea of things? And I
And
think
that
it's
goes back to the offer of what you talk about, offering. There's different agents that have a level of service, and sometimes their level is here. Sometimes other people's standards are here, and that's fine. You can live your life that way, unfortunately, or fortunately, mine are here.
Mhm.
And that's where I want to stay, with professional photos, with potential drones or 3D tours or the virtual stagings that we
Mhm.
offer.
Or even staging too.
Or staging. Yeah, there's some that it's worth to stage it.
Yeah.
It's that's agents. That's what we put into sort of marketing. I don't charge my clients to stage. I let them know that like staging can happen, but if it's worth it for me to help you and get this home sold,
Mm-hmm.
let's get it staged.
Yeah, or even offering kind of helpful tips of, even just something simple like the smell of your home, of
Mm-hmm.
making, putting scents in your home so when
Right at
they
the door.
walk in,
Oh
it
yeah.
smells good. Because I can't tell you how many times I've gone to showings and my clients who were the buyers have just said, this place smells great. And then that just sets a good tone for the rest of the showing.
Mhm.
They had this positive thing happen, and so now they're going to start thinking positively. So it's just little things like that realtors think of,
Yeah.
to help with the sale of your home.
I totally agree. I always say put it right at the door, and it's kind of like
Mhm.
that, restaurant example. It's like you kind of eat with your eyes, right? You see it, it looks good, it's probably going to taste good. Hopefully, it does. But when you are looking at real estate, are they picturing their home, their family in there? Are they picturing like, oh yeah, no, you know what? I love this stove or this setup of the kitchen or the way they made this upgrade. And so
Mhm.
I totally agree. Like those are things that you might not think of, and if you do, great. But like that's why we're advisors. We
Mhm.
tell you what works and what doesn't work and what pitfalls can happen. And that's where sellers, I think, can have a better understanding of the market. National news is not the same as DFW.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
don't
would-
listen to national news. Listen to a DFW agent
Mhm.
because it is totally different.
Oh yeah, for sure. From California to Texas, very
Mhm.
different.
No, I mean even like Florida, North Carolina, Georgia, like some of those states
Mhm.
like that. It's just DFW is a completely different beast. I think it should be like it's just how many cities are in DFW? There's over 50. Over 50, right?
A
It's
lot.
gotta be.
A lot.
Right? But we combine it into DFW because there's just so much
Mhm.
opportunity here and so much growth to sell and buy. I mean, because
Oh,
if
yeah.
you're a seller, trust me, there's a lot of buyers out there, but you got to be the right home for that buyer.
Oh yeah, and two, I mean, I have experienced this a lot of people from other states come to Texas a lot too because they say it's a lot cheaper or not cheaper. It's a lot better priced to
Mhm.
live at. And the conditions of Texas too, of there it's clean, it's big, there's a lot of growth happening. It is diverse,
Oh, for sure.
super diverse, especially with restaurants, shopping, and it's not just one area. It's so many different areas that are, different and then unique. I mean, like the Universal's coming up,
Yeah.
being built in Frisco, and then Grapevine has the airport,
Mhm.
and then Denton has UNT College, and
Yeah.
there's just so many different areas of where to live in Dallas Fort Worth.
Oh, there are, and I mean, I think sellers need to be aware that that that's the competition.
Hmm.
Is your home competing with the home in your area, and is it one of the homes that will get chosen? You know,
Hmm.
um, so I think this was a great opening to like. I hope it was a good eye opening experience for people who are listening, where I need to do that, or I need to talk to somebody, or I have questions about whatever. I'm open. I know you're open to just having general conversations with folks. But that,
Always.
yeah, always. But that advice, take it seriously. I mean, because we do this every single day. We've
Hmm.
got years and years and years of experience, and then on top of that, um, we're successful at it. So
Yeah.
it's definitely one of those things where I'd love to really kind of help anyone, but if you don't want the help, I wish you nothing but the best.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
I think one last thing that I will say too, just to add on, for sellers to also ask the realtors about, is to explain, like just the contracts, or to explain what they're signing,
Yeah.
even. And if they have a question of what's in the contract, are they able to explain even what's in the contract?
Right.
Or, there's a lot of things in the contract you can negotiate on too. For example, the home warranty.
Yeah.
For that, there's a section in there, and I see a lot of times I get offers and it's
It's
left blank. I'm like, you don't even want to try to ask for this?
Yeah, for that piece, that's the home warranty piece where, the buyer or the seller is contributing to like American Home Shield or
Yeah.
warranty or appliances and things
Mhm.
like that. And so a lot of times when I write my buyer contracts, I'll put $500 or $1,000 in, but that's reading as the seller's contributing if they want it. That's sellers
Mhm.
contributing to taking care of their appliances for a year or 2 years or however much it costs.
Mhm.
And not a lot of people do that. That's one of those situations like that's another way to protect you as a buyer. But if it's in there and the seller gets to the closing table, is like, whoa, hold on, I didn't agree. No, I'm not doing that.
Mhm.
Oh, that agent didn't know how to advise you on that.
Yeah,
You
or
know,
they didn't know it was
they didn't
even
know what it
in
was. They
there.
didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
They saw the price. They saw the closing date. All right, we're good.
Yeah.
No, it
Or
doesn't.
the other, documents that need to go with it, or forms. Like I just had a house that we just closed on, or not just, but in February, and it was built in 1950s.
Oh yeah.
Well, there was no lead-based paint
Mm-hmm.
pamphlet given to me. There was the the form that needed to be given to me. I
Yeah.
had to ask for it.
Right. How many times I've received like a 1 to 4 and that's it? I'm like, where's the HOA? Where's the
Oh my
mud? Where's the
gosh.
pit? Like what
Seller's disclosure notice.
like where's all
even.
that stuff? I need that. Like I need to
Yeah.
present it. Like because I know that because I need to ask you for it anyway. So yeah, I mean, again, those are things for the consumer to understand. Like
Yeah.
ask them how many transactions have you done in this area or transactions in general. I love in this area because I love just combining DFW. Like I've done a lot in DFW, but no, it's one of those things where the consumer, like, I hope that you do challenge your agent and ask
Yeah.
them questions, because if they back down and talk about having confidence, being a little cocky, it's like I should be able to answer those questions. If I
Mhm.
can't, maybe I'm not go back to the schoolhouse or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And there are, some questions, can be difficult because it might be very specific.
Oh yeah, yeah. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, I get
there
that.
are
I'm very
some-
understanding with stuff like that.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
are some. I mean, I feel like I'm pretty well educated in real
Yeah.
estate, and I feel like you are too. I
Yeah.
mean, we talk about real estate, and I'm like,
All
wow,
day.
this person knows what I'm
All
saying.
day,
This is
every day.
great.
Yep, love it. What it is.
But I mean, as a real estate agent, all I want to do is talk about real estate, and so
Mhm,
I don't
mhm.
get to do that with my friends, with my family. Family that is in real estate, I do, but
Yeah.
even they get tired of hearing about it
Right.
because they're older and kind of not really doing it anymore. So
Right.
they don't want to talk about real estate. All I want to do is talk about real
Yep.
estate. So when clients come to me and want to talk about real estate, I'm like, what do you want to talk
Yeah,
about?
let's talk. Let's do it. Well, I think it's a great conversation for folks to have, and love the conversation. That's the whole point of this, is really to have good conversation, debatable conversation. And if you think that a pool is viable, we'd love to hear from you. So